Welcome, everybody. I think I might turn the music down a little bit. Give me a second. How are you guys? How is your Sunday? Welcome in Mojave, welcome in Holt, and welcome in Softly Meowgical. Welcome in. Ooh, let me turn off. The music's making my brain hurt. I'm like, I need it just quite enough. Alright. Thinking level. Let me know if you guys can hear the music, because I can try turning it up. Make sure I'm on the right screen. Boop. There we go. Alright, that should be all good. Hi everybody, I am finally back. Let me make sure I can catch up. Oh! Thank you for becoming magical. Thank you for the $1 Mojave. Welcome in, Kira. Welcome in, John. Welcome in, Yosra. Good to see you all. Also, the thumbnail for today is art that I did. However, there is art that I need to share that John did that I had forgotten from many week ago that I meant to do. And I think I put it, should be on my desktop. Let me double check that I have the art that I need. Because I need to show off the art. In the meantime, I can put the puzzle in the chat. Today we're only doing 500 pieces because I have to go earlier today. We're probably going to be on for about an hour, and then we're going to probably wrap. And anyways, I can finally tell you guys where I've been. So I have been gone because I had to do a lot of stuff for a wedding. I played a big role in my friend's wedding. Not only was I part of like the bride's side of the wedding, but I also was her graphic designer for the wedding and everything. So the past 2 weekends have been the bachelorette, the bridal shower, the brunch, the tea, the wedding itself, the reception, the rehearsal dinner. There was so many things I was doing. I have peopled out. I'm done peopling. I have peopled my last people for the moment. Alright, let me get the image up. For the art, because I did find it. Sounds like an interesting running. It was intense, my friend. She is a very eclectic person who also travels the world a lot, and there was many much things about this wedding in many much places, so I have calmed down. Anyways, this is the John art. I believe this was a, correct me if I'm wrong, a Gundam inspired piece, which, dude, I'm so obsessed with. I love kind of the fairy wing effect. I love the, like, bottom lighting. I think it's so cool. It's so epic. I'm really obsessed with this. It genuinely feels like a screenshot from an anime. I really, really like this piece a whole lot. One of my favorites. And then the other piece. Another one he had done a couple weeks back was this one, where he gave me this exceptionally cool guitar, by the way. Like, look at this, like, floral little guitar. Actually, I'm, like, making it smaller, but the guitar is very, very cool. I'm, like, super obsessed with it. I honestly, again, another, like, screenshot-worthy image. It's so cool. I love the way that the train looks in the back. I'm just so obsessed. He's been doing all these really high-quality arts, and I am not worthy of how amazing they are! I've been so obsessed. I've been so obsessed. And then I need to download it, because I think it's still on the drive. Let me grab that. The newest one. I don't have, but I did use it for my Nikki thumbnail because it was just so peak. This one. I have to make sure I get the right one because there were multiple versions. Should be in my download folder. This one. This one is, I cannot even with how unbelievably good this one is. I've been so obsessed with this one just because it's got that like neon like glow around the edging. It's just, I'm so obsessed with it. It's so good. Anyways, let me catch up with chat. Next week I'm gonna have a spring break. Oh, it's that time of year again with spring break. Hey Honeykey, how are you? Yeah, isn't this art just like so good, so amazing, so fun? I did a fan art. Do you know if you could show it? You'll have to send it to me again. At me so that I can make sure I get it in my folder so I can switch computers. The lighting's so good. It's so good. It's not seeing 90s show manga get more modern adaptation. Everything's getting so many. Plus a remix. Yeah, Hanagimi I never expected to Red River and Rayearth. Yeah, it's blowing my mind that these are all coming back. And then I have one more, at least that I have on the thing to share. I got a commission piece from a creator who I have loved for some time. I'll put this version up to show off it real quick. This one. This is from Be So Lovely. This is the Twitter version I made, but she does like retro stuff. She's known for doing retro 90s stuff. She's also the person who is behind Little Goody Two Shoes, a lot of the art. She did a lot of the sprite arts for Fields of Mystria. And then, I'm trying to remember what it's called. I think it's Hell's Paradise is the newest game by Astral Shift. She does a lot of, like, work for games and stuff. So I am so psyched about her art. And she had chibi commissions open. And I was like, I mean, if you're commissioning them, then, like, I might as well take it. I will happily take a little commish from you. I was very excited to work with her for the first time. Big fan. I'm very excited because there's a lot of artists who I have loved for so many years because I love just like collecting all artists on socials and being like, no, another artist for me. Very much love doing that. And so I'm glad that I'm commissioning several artists. I have a couple more that I'm very excited to share who have been very big in the like Precure community specifically. But I can't show that yet. It's not done. But eventually I can show you guys all sorts of cool stuff. Alright, let me grab Mojave's art, which did use one of my favorite models, which is I do like my witch design a great deal. Let me make sure this is the right one. They're all labeled in H's. There we go. This is Mojave's one. Did such a good job. I really love the pose. I like that you kept the drink from the talking model that I have, where I threw that in there. I feel honored. Fun fact, the aesthetic I used inspired... Oh, it's Code Geass! I love Code. Did you hear there's more Code Geass coming out? Did you hear there's even more Code Geass coming? I was like, it just never ends. I need to understand it better, because they lost me at the timeline split, so I have to remember which one's on what timeline. Yes, big shout out to Mojave for doing this. Appreciate you. Nonetheless, today we have a puzzle. I saw some people coming in and out. I'm gonna just start throwing pieces to the side as we get this puzzle underway, because I do need to finish this in like an hour. So, with your help, we can finish this puzzle together, and then you guys can obviously figure out what the puzzle is for this week. Since it's connected to a big announcement. Hi both, Luluto Lily and Arcana Shadow are coming this April. I know, I'm so excited. You can check out my card information. Ooh, I will do that after stream. Welcome in, Marcos! How are you today? It's your dad's birthday! Happy birthday to him. Sorry I won't be able to hang out much. No worries at all. I'm just gonna chug away on a puzzle and hang out with who is around and who wants to talk on this fine Sunday. But yes, there were plenty of... I'm trying to remember the name of the expo that was this weekend. It may have just been Anime Expo. No, it's the American one. There's some expo that happened in Japan, and they had a lot of big anime announcements and anime updates. There was stuff for Luluto Lily. They did a really cheeky Detective Conan, and Star Detective crossover social media post that might, you know, it might be implying stuff. I mean, we had that, what was it? What was the one that we did? It's not, was it? It wasn't Doraemon. There was the one that we had for Wonderful Precure where we were collabing with other properties. Crayon Shinchan. They did Crayon Shinchan crossover, so they might, you know, do a cheeky little Detective Conan crossover. I can't imagine that it will be any more different than the Crayon Shinchan crossover. But lots of anime news. For anybody who's a figure collector, Good Smile picked up a Holy Mommy figure. They're gonna do a Nindoroid since the Scale by Stronger got cancelled. So that's very cheeky for the people who enjoy that. Welcome in, Ramon! How are you today? Hope you were doing well. I saw the Conan and Star Detective short crossover. It was cute! It's like they had all the mascots there, which I wonder if Conan had a presence at the expo, because Conan's just been a show that's been going on for, like, ever. Like, I watched the show a little bit, but I mostly read the manga, and it just kept going, man. I think that's... God, how old is that show? It's definitely in the rankings for being the longest running show. I think Crayon Shinchan, still holds the prize for being the longest running show. I think Detective Conan was in, like, second place or something. They just go on and on. Welcome in, Alexis. How are you today? Other thing in regards to the puzzle for anybody who's gonna join in, I have decided what we will do with people who have highest puzzle counts. We are going to let whoever does the most puzzle, like whoever like wins the little like puzzle for this, you get to decide the next image, but with some conditions. One, I will need to approve the image because when you do these puzzles, if you just do like personal art or something, there's usually like a blank background behind it, which is very hard to do for the puzzle. We need the image to be busy, so I'm going to stick it to doing official art, and specifically official art from Magical Girl series. I will approve it, but you get to choose the next image that we do for said puzzle. Nonetheless, what other major ones? Yeah, Conan and One Piece. I think One Piece was 4th place. I'm trying to remember what they were like. There was the top 4 longest running anime. And I think most of them were kids shows. I don't know if Doraemon was the longest running kids anime. Or not kids anime. Longest running anime series. Or I think it was like the ones that had the longest episode count. Episode count. Oh, I messed up. Okay, never mind. There's a couple above it. So we have Sazai-san, Nintama Rantaro, Ojamaru, Oyaku Club, which I'll be honest, I have not heard of the first 5. I think they're all kids shows. But I feel like I've heard. Apparently Doraemon is in 5th place. There's... Oh, I have seen Soreke Anpanman. I've seen that one. One of these doesn't even have a Wikipedia page. I also wonder if some of these, like, are kind of cheating because they're like short form. Yeah, some of these are 5. I'm not going to count the ones that are 5 minutes long. I'm going to count the ones that are like an average run. Because Crayon Shinchan's up there. Yeah, Detective Conan is up there. One Piece is under Detective Conan. I love that Doraemon is up here twice. There's the 1979 one that still has a record, which is incredible. And then there's Doraemon 2005 that's down in 17th place. That's crazy. And shout out to Naruto for being 27th place with 500 episodes. I didn't know all that. What place is Precure? I don't think they're going to count Precure because they do separate seasons. I guess if you smushed all Precure together, you could probably get a pretty big number. But I think because Precure is individual, it's not going to count. But, like, some of the ones that are up there for just, like, having long runs, Yu-Gi-Oh! The OG one was there. Yu-Gi-Oh's another one that if you smushed all of them together, it'd be a pretty high number. Sailor Moon's up there because that has 200, because I think both Sailor Moon and, like, Inuyasha had around 200. Inuyasha had 193. Pokemon, the Ruby series is the Ruby Sapphire one, apparently, is the longest running Pokemon one. Pokemon's another one that's going to be big. Yeah. Black Clover's getting up there for more modern shows. Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. The average runtime for a TV show is usually 10 to 25 minutes at most. Yeah, well, that's the shorter form will be on the 10 side. 20 minutes and above is usually the average for, like, TV, because you do it in 30-minute slots, and then commercials would be the rest of those minutes in that 30-minute run. Like, Precure is an average show. They've changed things lately, because a lot of the bigger anime that's debuting will have, like, the first episode be, like, an hour special. I think the new Nanoha was an hour special. I think Oshi no Ko was an hour special. Even, the dude, what just aired? Jumping on Witch was an hour long for its debut. I think Luluto Lily's just gonna be 30 minutes. I'm trying to remember if Ray Earth is going to have a long first episode. Ray Earth's production, I think, is a little funky. Because I don't think we know what the total episode count is yet. But to be fair, they just announced. They just announced that poor baby. I think Fairy Tail franchise is 178. Let's see if it's up there. Fairy Tail, Fairy Tail, Fairy Tail. I'm gonna look it up. Fairy Tail. Fairy Tail is 328 in 37th place. Interesting. But yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I've liked that the sort of anime landscape has changed a little bit, because I think things like streaming services have made it. I think some shows debuting with an hour-long special is good. I think something like Oshi no Ko, it makes sense for that to be, like, basically 2 episodes shoved together, because for that series specifically, the way that the plot unfolds has a pretty long-winded intro before you really roll into what the show actually ends up being and who end up being the main characters. So I think for shows like that, it makes sense. I think for Champignon Witch, it was a little unnecessary, but again, that's another one where the preliminary stuff that happens in the first episodes establish who our main character is, and then the actual story that will unfold takes place afterwards. When will One Piece be ending? It's so long. God, I don't know. They're starting it over, which was kind of crazy. It'll be hysterical saying one character from Super Mario RPG the players really wanted to see in Super Smash show up in a silent cameo during the event of the Galaxy movie. I was kind of like, I know they already said like Pikmin, and I was like, why are they throwing Pikmin in Super Mario? And then they were like Star Fox, and I was like, oh, okay. Okay, they're just doing Smash. I think everybody's probably on the spot with the last character that they're gonna show in the movie being like Kirby. I think Kirby's a good one to hold off until the very end. I think he will be a fun little addition to the crew. But yeah, they're restarting they're redoing the first episodes of One Piece. I don't know when they're gonna be like, and we caught up to where we want to be with One Piece. Because I don't know how much, I'm not a huge One Piece person, so I don't know how loyal the anime has been to One Piece. I assume they've done filler over the course of the years, but now they're more on track with the manga. But I don't know at what point where they'll be like, current production is good enough that if they catch up, it's fine. I saw the live action One Piece. I heard that the season 2 was really good. I've heard that they've done a really solid job. I'm just not a One Piece person, but I appreciate that we're actually getting adaptations of things and they're not garbage. That's kind of nice. I feel like we haven't always had that be the case. An anime I worked on, Shibo Yugi, also had 1 hour special. It's funny because I worked on the first 2 episodes separately. Oh my goodness, that makes sense. So yeah, I think they're just doing this like 1 hour special seems to be the way that they wanted to go. Yesterday, even though I started to get a cold, oh no, everybody's getting sick, I was able to make a correction, Sankan, do an illustration of Nanoha Exceeds. Oh my god, I know you're very excited for Nanoha. I've heard your passion for what is upcoming. Why can't it be called Smash Bros. The movie? I feel like they're building up to it. My thing that's killing me, though, with the character I liked the most in Smash was, like, Zelda/Sheik from, what was that, the 4th game? Whichever, no, I take it back. I like Brawl. Brawl was the one I liked, because it had Subspace Emissary, and I really just want Subspace Emissary the movie. I think that will be much more exciting, but the problem is they're doing live-action Zelda, and I was like, I don't want live-action Zelda. I want animated Zelda. Why didn't we get an animated Zelda movie before they did a live-action one? I don't care about a live-action one. They can't cross over, or at least it's gonna be stupid if they cross over the live-action with Mario. We're not at Mario Odyssey yet. That's a couple movies down the line. I just started watching One Piece anime again last month, 10 years ago. Dang. I don't have it in me to do One Piece. I think that's one of those things where I'm like, you can call me a fake anime fan if you want. Not that I feel like I'm remotely a fake anime fan, but One Piece is one of those ones where I'm like, I'll let everyone else enjoy it. I'm still a little angry at Oda with some of the things that he said, so there's also the lack of motivation in that department, I'm not gonna lie to you. But I'm glad that people are enjoying it nonetheless and that everybody's getting a good adaptation. I'm too scared to get a live-action adaptation for anything I like because I just don't want it. Like, if they were like, we're doing a Precure live-action adaptation, like, in the Americas, I'd be like, no thank you, that's fine. Alright, I think I've gotten pretty much most of the edge pieces, so I think I can just start, like, working on them. Hi everyone! First time catching a stream? Oh, welcome in, Sabrina! We're doing a puzzle. Feel free to join! I love watching your Precure reviews after watching it myself. It's like a pit stop after watching Drag Race. Aww! I appreciate you. I had a really nice message on my video. Also today, I had a Slim Possible, which shout out to like the Kim Possible potential pun there. They had said, nothing better than a Sunday brunch and a Novelist tea review, and then they did a little teacup emoji, and I was like, ah, that's so nice. I really appreciate you guys. You're making my day. I remember, Wit Studio remake for One Piece coming out. It might be better pacing. I assume it will be better pacing, because they're gonna not do the filler that they had to do back in ye olden times. When I was younger, I was more of a Naruto fan than a One Piece fan. Oh my god, I mean, it was the OG fight between Team Pirate or Team Ninja. For anybody of the ancient times, remembering all those good old-fashioned memes. Alright, per usual, I'm making this slightly harder for myself and not looking at my own reference, but I do know what the image is. I caught up for the final episodes of Prin Session. How was the ending for that, by the way? Without going into spoilers, did you enjoy it? Did it meet expectations? I need to watch the show. So I need this piece to not gaslight me. This absolutely goes here. I have decided. Oh, they're different shades of green. There's more bottom pieces I'm missing. Alright, you guys go down here. This doesn't go here, does it? No. Maybe. Oh, it went somewhere. Oh my god. For the wedding, one of the things that happened, that I got into a bit of a, like, tussle with my friend over, but it was very funny. So for her wedding, she's like up in the remote mountains of the middle of nowhere. Good location to get married. But we did our bachelorette party in the mountains, and we were staying at like this Airbnb, and we were sitting in a hot tub, and we had been talking until like it was like 2 or 3 a.m. and we suddenly heard mountain noises. We heard very, very spooky mountain noises. And so I like horror and stuff, so I was like, oh, I love spooky stuff, but also at the same time I was like, that's probably just like a mountain lion or like a coyote or something. They're very common. Or like, if you guys have ever heard a fox is like the most abrasive noise you will ever hear in a remote location. I hate the noise of like fox howling. It's just an affront to my ears. But, you know, she's trying to, like, get everybody all, like, spooked, where she's like, do you guys know the legend of the Wendigo? It could potentially be a Wendigo that's making that noise, because they'll, like, make howling noises that lure you into a false sense of security, and then they get you. And I was like, you know, now that you mention Wendigo, I know Wendigo from one thing. And that's the hit game Until Dawn. And I was like, but in Until Dawn, are they not? Because, like, we were in Appalachia. But I was like, doesn't Until Dawn take place in the Rockies? Isn't it on a completely different mountain range? Is that a Wendigo mythology, like, traversing other mountains? Can other mountain ranges have the same, like, cannibalistic monster thing going on? Is that, like, possible? I genuinely, like, got in my head about it, and I was like, huh, I didn't know that they could just have the lore in other mountains. And she was like, you know what? And I looked it up, and first of all, I didn't realize that Until Dawn took place in Canada. Shout out to that. They were making very American decisions in that game, so I was like, I can't believe this is Canada. It's got Hayden Panettiere in it. But yeah, apparently that game is in Canada, and it's in the Canada Rockies. And I was like, so it's in a different mountain range. It's our Wendigo things you can have in Appalachia. Like, we've got all sorts of spooky stuff going on in Appalachia, but I was like, I don't think we have Wendigo. And they were like, no. They were like, we Googled it. And she's like, surely, like, you know, the Native Americans and everybody were, like, traversing together. Surely they passed on the lore from mountain range to mountain range. And Google very sharply was like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. The Wendigo only exist in the Rockies. They have nothing to do with Appalachia. And she was so sad. And it was funny too, because we had a lot of people in the group who were very susceptible to, like, being scared and, like, being like, oh, no, don't tell me that something spooky's in the mountains. And then I just sat there and completely debunked her whole, like, spooking everybody else. Because I was like, you know, actually, I don't think we have Wendigos in our mountain. Wrong mountain. She got so mad at me. But I was like, listen, I played the hit game Until Dawn. And I'm pretty sure they ain't got no Wendigo in the Appalachian Mountains. Wrong mountain. I completely ruined that for her. I only consumed Naruto through Sasuke AMPs. That's iconic on YouTube. It's so confusing not having the You don't need the plot. Who needs the plot? We don't need the plot, it's just Sasunaru. That's pretty much the whole show. It's just the two of them having a really terrible breakup. I still need to watch episodes 50 and 51 for IP. Dang, I didn't realize IP ran that long. There's a new one coming up. I'm a fan of horror content. Horror's so good. Do you think we'll be getting the favorable 8Q team for the 20th anniversary season? I don't know what they're gonna do for the anniversary. Is that now next year? I hate the passage of time. Are we already at the next anniversary? Are we on the doorstep to the future? Oh my god, all these pieces are like slightly white. Oh, there's an ocean somewhere over here. I'm gonna try to get the ocean pieces connected. This looks like the top line of an ocean. Oh, we're so back. Never mind, we're so lost again. That was about all I could do. Then we're back to sky. I assume the ocean's somewhere around here. Ugh. Foxes don't sound like, oh, they look, it's so funny. I had a time where I was pet sitting for friends, and then the neighbors were also my friends. And while I was pet sitting, I had a dog that I was pet sitting, and suddenly I was sitting upstairs, the dog was downstairs, and I heard this wailing, and I was like, what the heck is that? And I was like, that's not the dog I'm watching, is it? The dog's not wailing, the dog is indoors. Like, that dog should not be outdoors, that dog should be indoors with me. And so I come downstairs, and the dog is just sitting there, like, aloof. Because it's a very gentle, soft, giant dog. So I was like, that's not this dog. And I was like, what is that noise? My friend calls me, and she's like, you need to put that dog inside. Why is the dog making all that noise? And I was like, that's not the dog I'm looking after. I was like, ain't my dog. The dog I am watching is well-behaved, polite, and quiet and demure. I was like, it's your dog, because she also had a dog. Everybody in this neighborhood has dogs. And we're like, trying to figure out whose dog is making all that yapping. And then we find out it's a wolf making some weird noises that was, like, running in the back of yards for everybody. And then it's just so funny because she immediately jumped to, like, this is your fault. And I was like, it's not my fault. Alright, I'm not gonna lie. Does this piece not look like it goes here? Like, does this not look so seamless? You're gonna tell me I'm wrong? You're gonna tell me wrong with this piece? I swear. Which is worse, listening to a fox howling or listening to what does the fox say? My niece, when she was like 2, was so obsessed with that song. It was the only thing she'd let us play, and she'd giggle every time because she knew she tortured us with it. I had to listen to that song on repeat for so long, man. I hate that I know all the lyrics to that. Canada only registers as Canada to me. If there's a moose involved, they say a boot. Because, yeah, but the problem is all the actors were American for the most part. I think almost all the actors, because they were all relatively famous for, say, like, Rami Malek and Hayden Panettiere and a couple of other people for it. I keep wanting to say Brenda Song, but she's in The Quarry. Same company, different game. But they get, like, really A-lister actors who play on these games. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure all of them are American. They're not Canadian. They're throwing me off with that Canada art. There's a green side piece that I'm missing. And then there's the blue wavy piece. Actually, take it back. Let's go down here. I figured it out. I got through the madness. Also, why is this here? You're not even a side piece. Cosplaying as a side piece to throw me off. The puzzle really is a foot. At least it's not Baby Shark. She liked that too. I'm afraid I'm also a victim of listening to Baby Shark more than I would have liked to. I'm more of a cat person. Yo, same. I just have too many friends who have dogs and are like, we need you to pet sit them. And I'm like, fine, the power of friendship wins today. I will pet sit your dog. Also, did I pin the message? Is the puzzle pinned in chat? Let me know. Because it's not showing up on my end, which is driving me mad. Or maybe, oh, they moved the pins to the bottom. Yo, I hate that. I hate that. I prefer them at the top. Why would they do this to me? I also, on top of, like, doing a lot with the, wedding, I did all the graphic design stuff, like the invitations, the menus, the logo for the wedding. I did so much graphic design, and then I got adopted by the photographer, like, the entire time I was running around trying to do my not bachelorette, what was I? Bridesmaid. My bridesmaidly duties and trying to arrange things and keep my very much not on time friend on time. The photographer ended up adopting me because he was like, you're pretty cool. And we ended up, he kept taking me away and he's like, you want to help me do these pictures? Because we would like do like a flat lay of all the wedding items and whatnot. And so I consistently ended up also working with the photographer. But he was really cool because he had a drone. He had a really cool drone 4K camera, and I was like, that's a nice 4K drone camera you have there. And he's like, you want to use it? And I was like, I would like to do a little trial run of a 4K drone camera if you're willing to work with me. I mean, who am I to say no to a 4K camera experience? It was very fun. I really want a drone camera. And I am debating, like, it's really bad because I'm really debating getting one. But the problem is, I don't want to spend the money right this second for multiple reasons. It's not the time for me to be spending money like that, but the drone prices are about to go up so high because America sucks with tariffs and legalities, so it's about to get really expensive. So it's buy now or forever hold my peace, but I'm like, I don't want to. But I want to. But I'm like, I don't need a drone until summer. All the cool places I'm going where a drone would be nice all happen in summer. I've never listened to Baby Shark because I was too old to listening to that for babies. Now I'm listening to Vocaloid queer music. Fair enough. I think Baby Shark, before it became a baby song, like, it's really, I think it's like Pink Fong or something put on the video that's really popular with the babies. It used to just be a camp song. I remember when I went to camp all the time, we would always do Baby Shark, was like a big camp thing. Also, I did Swim Team. Swim Team was another one where, like, they loved playing it. Cause you're a shark in the water, we're gonna win the match. Swim Team, Swim Team. So I think that's where I mostly know it. There's a couple of, like, chant stuff I learned from just doing Swim Team. Oh man, I do not miss not doing I do not miss doing Swim Team. I think I'm a little weakling and swim meets gave me, like, such anxiety attacks. I was like, the fate of my team is on me and I'm not fit to be an anime sports protagonist. I have decided it's too much for me. They're like, you're really good at swimming. You're gonna be the one who decides the fate of the team. And I was like, don't do that. I don't want the fate of the team on my shoulders. I just swim good because me and water all time. Like, I am fish. Okay. I think things are coming together. I'm solving it, guys. Really, really. This piece makes me mad. Because I know it goes somewhere over here. Ugh. Sky. Let's go somewhere over here. Welcome in, FNAF. How are you today? We're doing another co-op puzzle if you'd like to join us. Well, I thought Baby Shark was like an original song. It is some kind. I don't know who originally like claims it, but I definitely know it's like a camp. It was used as a camp chant for a while there. I went to high school in 2014 to 2019, and they never played that song or any song of that matter. I only remember Baby Shark because of that thing they said it's supposedly used to torture prisoners. Oh my god. To be fair, it's definitely a torture device. As someone who has nieces and nephews, it definitely tortured me. Especially the kids are they're so insidious because they sit there and they're like, ha ha ha, I know what our aunt hates the most and we're gonna request it. But now, thank God they're into K-pop Demon Hunters, because I can play that music on blast. And I don't have any problems doing that one. I've slowly been trying to get my niece and nephew to like things that I like, so that way when they're like, let's watch this for the 80th time, it doesn't drive me nuts. Because they did kill Frozen for me. Like, I was a huge Frozen person, but I watched Frozen when I was in high school. And I liked it then, and then I watched Frozen 18,000 times, and they can quote the whole dang movie. And I'm like, I think I've had enough Frozen. And even Frozen 2, they killed that too, and I was like, oh my god, the power of children is too strong. I have high hopes for, god, it's hard to read her name. Edie Shiriku is Eclair. I want her to be Eclair, but I very highly doubt she is. But honestly, she's such a fantastic character. They really knocked it out of the park with her introduction. I hate when you're good at a sport and activity and then suddenly you're the leader. Like, babes, I run laps. I don't run shit. Leave me be. That's so valid. Like, it's funny because my parents talked about that with me when I was like, I want to do art for a living. Because my dad was like, he had a lot of things in life where he's like, everything's fun until it becomes a job and then you hate it. Luckily for me, art as a job has been fine. I didn't lose my spark with it. But sports is definitely the second anybody put any obligation on a sport, I was like, I hate sports. Sports are terrible. But I also kind of hate competition. I rather, like, they call things like swim team a team sport, but they're lying. They are lying to you. There's no team in it. I'm swimming my own laps. No one's holding my hand while I swim laps. It's all me, baby. And I took that personally when they called it team sport. Yeah, team sport as I do everything. When someone plays Gold in the Neighborhood, turn that thing up, dude. Yes. Agreed. I love Shiriku. She's so great. I get the feeling that Luluka is both a Sega and Nintendo gamer girl. Not just concert and games, but also PlayStation 1 from Sony. Oh my god. She would. I am curious. I guess, like, you know, because of copyright, they're not going to have too many crossovers from other, like, companies. But that'd be really cool if they sat there and, like, acknowledged the game consoles of the era and the games that came out. That'd be pretty neat. Oh, though, I'm kind of glad that I have moved past most of my console era and I just PC game. I've become a PC Master Race person. Because apparently PlayStation has announced dynamic pricing, which is evil. For people who don't know what dynamic pricing is, the pricing will shift depending on your habits. So if you're somebody who buys a lot of games, they'll charge more for the same game that they'll charge less for somebody who never buys games in order to try to entice people to buy more games. They're like, we'll lower the price if you don't, or not really lower the price. They do normal price for people who don't buy games, and then they make the prices significantly higher for those who buy it already, which is so evil that they're doing this. So I was like, yeah, PlayStation, I'm glad I haven't bought you in quite some time. I'm very happy with, I mean, like, to be fair, I wish Nintendo just put their games on PC so they could run better, but I'm happy with my Switch too. I'm glad that that's the financial decision I made, especially with the prices about to go up for that as well. Is it just me, or I don't think that Eclair Fusion will probably be a thing. It doesn't sound... I think it's very unlikely. I think it's a fun theory, though. I really want her debut to come out. Star Detective would do a crossover with Mario since the Mario will come out soon. I think they would have to have the relations for that. I don't know what the dynamic between Nintendo and Toei is and how willing they are to collab with each other. Obviously, a lot of the Precure games have been on Nintendo consoles, but I don't know how amicable and how willing they would do crossover stuff with that. I also feel like Precure as a brand is very... They don't do many collabs compared to something like Sailor Moon, which collabs with everybody that they can. Okay, this is like the castle in the sky thing, so this is gonna probably be like... higher? I don't think it could be all the way up there because there's not enough room. It's gonna be somewhere down this way. Cure Glamrock, I love the name. I love the custom name. That's beautiful. That's so twisted. Why would you punish loyalty cap? That's what literally, that's my thing, is I feel like they love to punish people who are loyal, but I could go on a whole rant about something none of you care about, which is rent. As a rent payer, I hate that my rent goes up every year. And I'm like, but I'm living here. I'm not moving away. It's less of a headache for you. Why are you charging me more money? But I'm not gonna go into the minutia of complaining about the adult American system that plagues me. I'm also like, where the heck do these pieces go? They have to go like right here. There's nowhere else they could go. I don't know where anything goes. Unless this goes like that. Oh. The whole time? The whole time? Kids move on from Baby Shark. Now they're watching AI Slop. Oh my god. On the bright side, win against AI Slop, they are getting rid of whatchamacallit. OpenAI died. That's a huge win for us. Down with OpenAI. Like, they're gonna slowly, the bubble's getting popped and they realize that AI is not as lucrative. People don't want to pay for AI, they want to do it for free, but it is very costly to use AI, so they're all collapsing, which is great. I just need all the data centers to die off. Because they make my electricity bill higher for no reason. I'm not using AI. I should not have to pay for it. You know I hate taxes. We all be hating the taxes over here. Even though I turned 20, I hate how people are trying to normalize beige colors and they're really trying to normalize boring stuff. Dude, millennial beige is the most offensive thing I've heard from my fellow millennials. How could you guys do something so horrible? We come from such a, like, I would say the boomers were boring AF. We cannot continue the boring lifestyle. Like, I'm a magical girl. Listen, I want color. I want brightness. I want sparkle. I'm so tired of people being like, let's take this beautiful place and then turn it into a concrete brick. Not aesthetic. Not aesthetic at all. I guess they took advice from Kinger and also Amazing Digital Circus. Oh my god, you're doing a magic? Yeah, we're doing Ray Earth. That is the puzzle we are doing. I just noticed. I'm excited. I'm so excited for this. I'm glad they finally dropped a trailer because we're like, they kept being like, this series is coming out 2026. And I was like, is it coming out? Is it coming out in 2026? You need to drop some information. But god, the trailer looked really good. They are doing a lot of homage to the original transformations. I'm curious how long it's going to be. I'm curious if it's going to be a 12-episode run, they try to shoehorn everything in, or if they make it breathable and make it like 24 episodes. I wonder if they're just going to do 1 season, 2 season. It'll be interesting. I'm also just not used to seeing Clamp stuff be short. I'm used to Clamp stuff being long. So it's gonna be very interesting, but I do believe the original series. I read the manga, but I've heard that I need to watch the anime. I've heard that the anime had a lot of stuff stuffed into it, so I need to reread the manga first of all and remember what the hecky happens because it's been years. And then I've got to watch the original anime because I think it's like free on so many things too. I've seen people want OpenAI back, and let's face it, AI is trash. Facts. Facts. We are AI haters in here. It will be a dream come true once AI gets banned. Honestly, I like that like other stuff keeps coming in that people are realizing that maybe we shouldn't be feeding everything into AI. Like, there's been new stuff that comes out that, like, anything you tell an AI about a court case becomes public information. So, like, if you're guilty and you tell the AI, sir, I killed that woman, and you tell the AI, then that becomes public information, and the courts can seize that information and be like, so he confessed to his AI that he murdered? Jail? Jail forever? It's crazy. Yeah, the anime and manga are different, I've heard. I genuinely just need to, like, indulge in all of that so I can see, because I think it's good prep. And you know what? I've got the summer to not, like, knock that out. I might as well take advantage of the times. The AI thing I hate is, yeah, it's the generative AI specifically that we're referring to here. That's stinky. Also, I have one friend who drives me nuts because he's like, you know what you could do? You could use ChatGPT. I was like, I will not! I will not! I have gone this long in my life without ChatGPT, and I will continue to have never used ChatGPT before. How dare you try to get me to change my ways? Are there like two of her on here? Why are there two faces? Never mind, I figured it out. Have you watched a video called Shredder Trials? If you didn't, it's really good and a shocking amount of things that the 2003 Shredder did. Is that, which Shredder are we referring to? Are we talking like TMNT? Are we talking like a typical office paper Shredder? Which Shredder are we getting into? Gotta get the context. Oh my god, my cat's sleeping next to me at the window. She's so cute. She's so cute. Hello, baby. Put a little pillow next to the window so she can be next to me and she can get those rays because it's sunny. It's a sunny day for my little baby. Oh. Lock it. The only AI that should be loved is Kane. Oh my god. I'm not gonna dive too much into the spoilers, but I'm very excited to see how Amazing Digital Circus ends. It's been quite enthralling. I've enjoyed the ride. I'm also very excited for just more Glitch stuff in general, because everything they have coming up is really good. For people who don't know, Glitch is the indie animation studio that's been doing things like Murder Drones, doing things like Amazing Digital Circus. They're going to do Knights of Guinevere, which is the Dana Terrace, which Dana Terrace did Owl House, for anybody who liked Owl House, but wanted something a little more mature and intense. It's good stuff. Alright, ma'am's over here. I assume you're in the middle somewhere. I think you were like middle right. Me guesstimating where she is. I see like her body, like, it's here somewhere. I'm trying not to use the references. One time my dad used ChatGPT for a recipe for dinner and the people in their family complained that he's good family. I'm very fortunate that my parents are too far gone to know how to use AI. Unfortunately, though, they're really bad about accidentally consuming it, because God, I think my mom is about to strangle me, because every time she sends me, like, an Instagram reel, I'm like, Mom, that's AI, and she's like, did you just enjoy it? I was trying to send you something that you could relate to, and I was like, I don't want to relate to it if it's AI, let me be. She and I getting a little tiffles over it, and I'm like, Mother, please understand. I don't want AI. I don't need it. He does 3 videos about each Shredder. Interesting. I've been watching The Amazing Digital Circus. It's good. I highly recommend it. I did see, though, I did see that it got, one of the episodes got marked as for kids, and it took away the monetization. And I was like, I I don't know if I should talk about this because it's a tricky situation, but you know what, I'm gonna say my piece. A lot of people will hate the Spindle Horse Works, aka Has Been Hotel and Hell of a Boss, and they complain because those series cuss. They're like, I don't know why that's like the only thing. They're like, this series is trash because they cuss a lot. And I'm like, okay, can you guys have like an actual reason you dislike the show other than like, because it's too much? I'm like, okay, are you 5? People cuss sometimes. You know, those shows cuss and they do not get mistaken as for children just because they're animated. Like, the cussing definitely helps those algo bots realize that this is not for children. I think I've been watching it since last year. Ooh, oh my god, it's one of those things. It's like how old is Amazing Digital Circus? Because it feels like it was yesterday, but I realized that it's been some time since the show released. Yeah, I really don't like AI at all. Valid. Don't know why YouTube did that. YouTube, I assume it's either, because it was weird, because it was like episode 4, so I imagine it's not people sitting there, I imagine it's not people hate reporting it as a children's thing, and then getting it smashed that way. I imagine what happened is it had to have, like, an AI bot went through it and, like, combed through the content and saw that it was animated, and then there was no cussing or anything that flagged it as being adult, so they immediately flagged it as for kids, and then they probably had to have poor Glitch, because I think the main headquarters for Glitch is in Australia, so they unfortunately were getting hit with the time change there. So it took them a minute to be like, hey, YouTube contact, series not for kids. Series very much not for kids. Can you please give us our money back? And have this not marked incorrectly? I'm gonna deliver some packages, I'll be back. All good, John. All good. My sister thinks animation is inferior to live action, but it's okay with watching AI animation videos. Yeah, I feel it's so frustrating to me that the animation medium is just so vastly disrespected. I think we're getting a little bit better, but god, it was only a handful of years ago where I was really upset too, because I think it was like Halle Bailey who said it at the like Oscars, where they're like, and all this animated crap for kids, and I was like, come on, animation is not for kids. Whoever wrote this skit needs to be fired. They just constantly are like, animation can only be for children, which is very, very frustrating, where it's a way to deliver stuff. Just because kids shows exist in the medium does not mean it's only for kids. It's very misinterpreted. And it's just, it's such a misconception that plagues everyone. I'm hoping, though, that, like, through the years, people are realizing, like, I mean, how many South Parks need to exist for people to realize that animation can be very inappropriate for children? If you do make children content, you deserve to be paid. They absolutely deserve to get paid for children's content, but I do understand specifically with YouTube as a platform, not letting people get paid when they make children's content, specifically because people do very nefarious things with, like, the lack of regulation that you have with a platform like YouTube. Unfortunately, you need to go through much more official channels if you're going to make something that's monetized and for kids. Like, I'll be honest, even with my channel as it is, I really would prefer kids not give me money directly. I prefer kids live their best kid lives and use their money on, like, buy bubblegum or something. Buy, like, a kid thing that makes you happy. Go buy, like, a little collectible at Miniso. Don't spend your money on an adult who has a full-time job. I do not like it, especially, like, I don't like a lot of the content creators, specifically, who go after kids because they're like, grab your mom's credit card and give me all your money. And I'm like, kids are not old enough and not fully brain developed enough to properly regulate spending. It's more of an adult thing, and it's something you learn when you get into, like, college and stuff, if not, like, late high school, or whenever you get your first job, then you start to figure out the value of what money is to you. And I'd rather not have kids, like, throw around money and then realize they're like, I spent all this money on this content creator and they don't know I exist. And I was like, yep, that is the final, that's what happens when you give money to strangers. If you're going to invest in something, understand what happens with the money. And so I definitely don't like people who solicit money from children. And so I'm fine not getting monetized. But obviously in the animation world, it's different. You are making animation for kids, but also you're making money usually from the merchandise, not necessarily the show itself. The 3 years I watched it since October. God, it's that old. Stop. Has it been 3 years? Ever since COVID. I feel like the passage of time does not make any sense. Animation is for everyone. AI is awful, and adult shows exist. Exactly. Exactly. If I have kids in the future, I catch them watching AI, I will yell so you bring dishonor to your family. I think you just have to teach kids that, like, this is what you look for in AI and it's not good to watch. I think you're having a sit-down moment. I think it was those weird... Yeah, it's all about the Elsa Gate stuff that happened without going into too much detail of how unsavory all that be. Like, it's... Children, again, don't have fully formed brains, so it's very easy to do things that manipulate them. And that's why I'd like do an Elsa Gate and stuff like that, where either you do videos where you're like, this is for kids videos and you trick kids into watching inappropriate content, or you just do stuff that's heavily addicted to children, because like real TV for the most part does have some degree of regulation. They do have rules that they have to adhere to if they're going to have something rated for children. It has to be reviewed. And YouTube is not, it's too big and people are putting out stuff too fast for YouTube to genuinely sit there and fully regulate stuff, especially since a lot of the regulation they do is just AI. But I think those weird videos are on... Yeah, the whole problem was that they had, like, all of these videos that were showcasing kids' characters and then doing really inappropriate things. Or they were just doing stuff that was heavily addicted to kids and then monetizing it. So that's why YouTube Kids got invented. And why how the COPPA laws came in there. Let's be honest, the TikTok app nowadays is just really greedy and doesn't respect opinions. Honestly, TikTok has gone downhill for me, and I don't use TikTok anymore. I haven't used TikTok in like 2 years. Unless my friend sends me a text message and yells at me to look at a TikTok he sent me. For him, I will look at it, but only for thee, and then I close the app because, I don't know, people... TikTok is just very negative. I think I've kept my Instagram reel curated enough that I don't see stuff I don't want to see. Or people fighting about stuff I don't want to listen to. If I ever had kids, I will never let them have an iPad, and YouTube, I'll let them watch the kids section of Netflix, Disney. I think YouTube Kids is fine. I think that's fairly regulated. Like, the actual YouTube Kids app, I've used that with my niece and nephew, and I do think, like, content creators who genuinely want to sit there and just make content for kids out of the goodness of their own hearts and have it heavily reviewed, I think they're happier. But I definitely think regular YouTube should not be something kids are hanging out with. My TikTok has unfortunately succumbed to rage bait. It's not as fun anymore. Yeah, it's like, the algorithm has been so rage baity, and I think people are finally realizing that they've kind of had enough of that. Like, I knew it was going to take a while. Trends on TikTok seem to take years to get out of people's systems, but I think people are finally reaching the point where they're like, I'm tired of just being upset all of the time. I think society is moving back to being like, I just want comfort content or like comedy. I don't want to look at stuff where people talk about things that are going to make me angry. I think people are finally moving on from being rage baited, which is kind of nice. Rage bait's finally failing. You deleted TikTok? I didn't delete it. I just don't go on it. I deleted it from my phone. My account's still just kind of floating there because people send me stuff occasionally and I need to look at it. But I think once TikTok, like, it's making bad decisions continually, so I think eventually there'll be another mass deletion of TikTok, at least in America. Because the upcoming things they allegedly are going to do sound real bad. It'd be funny if, like, if the next day after the movie, lots of iPads being thrown in the trash. Yeah, the new Toy Story movie might do that. Oh my goodness. Speaking of other apps, because Instagram needed me to do something, so I had to open up a Facebook account. And I've had an okay time with having a Facebook again. I haven't had one in a bajillion years. It's another ancient time thing I used to do. Though Facebook, man, every time I post on Facebook and I'm like, I'm just gonna announce the new Magical Girl news. That's all my Facebook is at this point. Every time I try to do it, they're like, by the way, do you want to cross post on WhatsApp? And I was like, please stop asking me to cross post on WhatsApp. I don't want to. Stop bullying me. It's like, you want to post this on WhatsApp? No! Let me post the post. I like, good lord, you have to click like 80 times to post anything. And Meta owns too many apps. I didn't know that Meta even owned WhatsApp. Also, I'm just a major WhatsApp hater. I've been having to use it for the wedding because everybody is not from the United States who is participating in the wedding with me. And I was like, oh my god, all of you guys are making me use WhatsApp and I hate it. I hate it, man. I think I can probably safely delete WhatsApp from my phone now. I love all those people, but man, I do not. It's not worth keeping WhatsApp. The notifications are really annoying and the app is stinky. Facebook is for old people. It do be for old people. I'm reaching all the old fans. I'm finding all the old... Like, it's really interesting seeing, like, the Magical Girl communities on different, websites and applications. I think that's the one thing that I've been trying to do is, like, try all these different applications and see what the Precure fandom and like, the Sailor Moon fandom looks like on all these different apps, and it's been kind of an interesting case study that I've been doing. There's some good and bad. I will say, for Reddit, which Reddit was the number one I feared touching, because Reddit scares me. I will say, I blocked one person on Reddit, and now my Reddit experience for, like, the Precure fandom has been delightful. I'm like, oh my god, it's so much- I literally just had to block one person, I'm like, oh, it's so great here, everybody's so nice, everybody's really friendly. Everybody's really fun. And then I also, when people are respectful, I really do like the Reddit discussions. I like that the app does allow for, like, not banter, it's not the word I'm looking for, but just, like, there's nice discussion. People like to kind of analyze things a little bit deeper. And it's kind of nice, especially for, like, this season being so theory-heavy. It's very nice to look at, like, people's theories and, like, people work together to evolve their theories with one another. I think it's been very delightful, and lo and behold, you'd never hear me say that about freaking Reddit before. If I'm a parent, I'll make them watch Markiplier play FNAF. Precure Disney Channel shows from the 2000s and stuff I had. Oh my god, Disney Channel shows are so good from the 2000s, man. TikTok guidelines are terrible. I don't know why, how they allow... They're very weird, but I think it's because of a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff or why that's so weird. Feels like the company's lazy about it. I don't know. I don't even know who owns it anymore at this point. It's just kind of an amorphous blob of ownership. Because it's been switching hands, and there's so much politics in it, and I'm like, ugh. Ugh, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Not for me. I move away. If I have kids, I'm teaching them to find 5-part anime series on YouTube. Dude, I wish we could go back to the three, what was it? Parte Tres Sub-Espanol. That was the real era. And it was never Sub-Espanol. I don't know if that was something to get around, like, YouTube telling you no. But I loved that every video would be like, Sub-Espanol! There would be no Sub-Espanol. That was a lie. I'm like, what if I did want to learn Spanish? I probably would be Spanish. I would love to learn Spanish alongside trying to learn Japanese. I might as well knock all the languages out at one time. Oh, I got a leg. What is the perspective on here? The leg's so tiny, but her head's so big. I'm really gonna learn. Doing these is fun because you learn more about these images than you did initially. I was only allowed to watch PBS. PBS was good stuff. I don't think we're putting the head down. Her leggy's right there. Her body's gotta be up here. Her hand's up here. It's gotta be massive. She's gotta be like way up here because her hand's chilling out over here. She's like over here somewhere. What is this image? Real warriors were forged in the times. You really did have to dig. You did have to dig on the internet to find things back in the day. I don't know if that's necessarily, like, if people really need that skill to have to, like, search like nobody's business for things. It's kind of nice that things are a little bit more convenient than they used to. What's that? That might be her sleeve. Yeah. Da, 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 da. The detective skills I had to develop for the anime I wanted to watch created a research pro. Truly, I do think at least the like the millennial and tail end of Gen Z probably have good research skills. They know how to really push through the weeds. Oh, speaking of things, I don't know if this is a thing in school anymore for the kids, for the youth. But like, does the schools still hate Wikipedia? Like, now that they have the new enemy of AI, can they get over their like hatred for Wikipedia? Because I grew up as a kid and they were like, you can't trust Wikipedia. Anybody can edit that. They could be lying to you. But I tell you, when everyone else wasn't there for me, Wikipedia was. I love Wikipedia. It's one of my favorite websites. That's the real addiction that they don't have anymore, is finding one thing on Wikipedia and being like, what does this mean? And clicking the next link, and then clicking the next link after that. You're like, what does this mean? And you just go on a rabbit hole on Wikipedia. That's real living. I think we've really lost the art of enjoying Wikipedia. But I also think schools need to get over their hatred, because they tried to bring down that platform. The real enemy of information was schools that hated Wikipedia. And I stand on that. I would watch Monster High and Equestria Girls on Pirates. We don't be confirming that. Don't confirm that in chat. You gotta be a little more vague. The bean soup theory came and undid everything. Nobody wants to do research anymore. People don't know the thrill of adventure. The adventure of knowledge. I barely watched PBS as a kid. I mostly watched PBS Kids Sprout. I also had regular Kids Network, like Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, Disney, so in my eyes PBS was pointless to me. No, PBS was so fun. One that I had that forever will be a mystery is that I knew it existed because I would see commercials for it, and this is how I kind of dodged watching a lot of the 4Kids dubs, is like 4Kids and Kids WB. Where was that? Like, I had heard of these legendary networks, but none of my like cable services ever had it, so I genuinely didn't know where it was. I genuinely had no clue how the heck people were watching these shows. And it really frustrated me because I wanted to know. I was like, but I want to watch Sonic X. I really want to watch the really bad dub for Mew Mew Power. Like, I couldn't access it. I couldn't watch them singing the, what was it? The national anthem. I didn't have that joy. I had Cartoon Network anime, and that was about it. And then when Cartoon Network got obsessed with like pseudo anime, and they did some really weird shows that were really good that they got from like all over the world. Like there was one I think called Get Ed, which was like a 3D show that was funky and like had like Asian vibes. So maybe I take it back. That was Jetix. That was when Disney had their fake anime as well. Everybody had some fake anime for a while. Like there was this one show that I remembered and I never saw the end of, and I looked it up on YouTube when I was little. Called Shinzo, and I was like, I was really into Shinzo. That show was terrible. I watched what happened like afterwards, and I was like, God, this show was terrible. You know what? Disney is not allowed to make fake anime anymore. They're banned. I've never been so affronted by being like, well, how did this show end? I never saw the ending to the show, and I looked it up, and I was like, that was garbage. That was also the great thing about YouTube, is that you watched really obscure things out of order because of cable, and then you'd go on YouTube and be like, tell me the ending of the show. Tell me what happened. I saw the ending of Danny Phantom on YouTube because I never was around to see that properly on TV because they never aired the ending. I watched MLP on YouTube, and you know what that means. Oh, God. I actually finally watched the, I think it was her name. Is it Jenny Nichols or Jenny Nicholson? The one YouTuber who does, like, movie content. I only recently learned that she was the person who did, one of the two people who worked on Magic is Witchcraft and did all those, like, dubbing songs. I had no idea it was her, but it was very interesting to hear, like, in retrospective, what it was like being the person who worked on those things. I was like, that's crazy. I also think it's so funny because she was talking about going to, like, MLP cons and stuff, like, just My Little Pony conventions, and having, like, a bunch of bronies be like, you're a fake fan, which is so wild to me. Dude, nerds who, like, really feel gatekeepy are just the absolute worst. Where she's like, you gonna call me a fake fan? It's crazy. And it's so annoying too because I feel like I get into fandoms that absolutely have people who are like that where they're like, you're a fake fan. Thankfully the Precure fandom is pretty nice, but like anytime I get any, like I love VTubers, but god, I hate being in the VTuber fandoms because people do not know how to behave. And they're very much like unicorns and people who call you fake fans all the time. And I'm like, I just want to enjoy this person who's got a really pretty anime avatar and is entertaining. It's so hard. Where I'm like, what happened to being nice? What happened to getting along? I never watched Kids WB, Fox Kids, the Fox Box. Oh my god, I'm hearing names from ancient times. But I did watch Toon Disney. I love Toon Disney! I used to be so mad because I hated live action when I was really little. And I remember, I think it was Full House would come on when Toon Disney like ended in the morning and it switched over. And I'd be pissed. I'd be so mad the second the Full House theme song came on. I was like, I hate Full House! This is the worst. Who cares about these Full Housery people? Bring me back about a House of Mouse. Bring me back DuckTales. Oh my god, the DuckTales remake was really good too. God, the original DuckTales I was super addicted to, and then they did a remake that was super duper good too, and I was just like, oh, the kids are getting it good. They're getting it good, and they don't even know. And the networks are like, we hate all these good shows. We will not support them. We will support shows that are not as good. You're a fake fan. Some guy speaking to basically God, literally. Like, the second somebody pulls out a fake fan, I immediately evacuate the dance floor. I'm like, we cannot be conversing together. We cannot be. I can't. I can't with the gatekeepiness. I'm repulsed physically from being near you and your hot takes. The only good thing about Full House is it gave us Mary-Kate and Ashley. I was never a Mary-Kate and Ashley girly. I totally missed the hype with them. I remember people be like, oh my god, Mary-Kate and Ashley, and I'm like, who? I constantly would get them confused with Lindsay Lohan, because I was like, Lindsay Lohan did the Parent Trap, and she twinned herself. And I was like, are Mary-Kate and Ashley the name of the two actors that are actually just one person all along? I really missed the mark when I was a kid on that. They're like, the Olsen twins! And I was like, who? What do they do? What do they like? Man, everybody loved them. They're like the Mary-Kate and Ashley movie. I watched the Mary-Kate and Ashley movie and nothing else when they were like teenagers. And I was like, this is really boring. I was like, you must have to like the characters to enjoy this. Because I was like, I don't care. What am I watching? I very much missed the Mary-Kate and Ashley boat. I feel like I didn't get into the hip TV until like the High School Musical era. Then I sat there and I was like, I did watch High School Musical. I watched Lizzie McGuire. Oh my god. Speaking of Lizzie McGuire, I like that Hilary Duff is having a comeback. She was like, dude, she was one of my OG. She was my first Oshi. The first time I ever went to a concert ever was a Hilary Duff's So Yesterday concert. Oh my god, that was my childhood. I loved Hilary Duff forever. Those were the good old days. Yeah, gatekeeping is weird sometimes. Like, who are you to question what's in my heart? Seriously. I feel like I get where it's coming from because, you know, you go to school and stuff and you're bullied for your interests and stuff. But I've always been a person who's like, just because I was bullied, I really don't want other people to get bullied. I don't want other people to experience it. So, like, there's people who feel very vindictive when they're at a convention because they're like, this is where I'm the cool kid because I know all the nerdy things and everyone else can be beneath me because I get to be the bully now. And I think it's just such a toxic mentality. I'm like, you gotta deal with the hatred in your heart better. And also just not be mean. Less mean, more nice. I can be- actually, this doesn't go over here, that's why. This is not lining up. No, it does. It does go there. I feel like we're so close to connecting her hair somewhere in here. I don't know where the Tokyo Tower is. The not Tokyo Tower. Mary Kay and Ashley gave us the potential breakup song. So yeah, they got a Totally Spies type of show. By the way, hi, welcome in, Blue Jay. Oh my god, I can't talk today. What did they do with Totally Spies? I love Totally Spies. That stuff's good. I love Totally Spies growing up. I remember loving Ed, Edd and Eddy, Courage the Cowardly Dog, Codename... Oh, I love Codename Kid Next Door. Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends was the first time I got rage baited. I hated Blue with every fiber of my being. Teen Titans was so good. The OG, whole bunch of old Cartoon Network was so good. Ed, Edd and Eddy was one of my favorite cartoons on Cartoon Network, and it still is. My parents banned that one. My parents did not ban many shows in the household because they didn't pay attention, which, you know, that's on them. But, they did ban Ed, Edd and Eddy. I don't remember what they hated about it. I remember one of the arguments they did have in there, which I don't think was the core reason why they banned it. But they're like, they have green tongues. Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. Oh, my God. I'm so sorry, guys. I have to wrap up stream. I did not think it was going to go this long. Oh, no. Oh, no. I'm gonna leave the puzzle. So if people want to work on the puzzle off stream, you may. I have to leave, like... like 10 minutes. Oh my god. I am so sorry, everybody. We are cutting the stream short today. I genuinely didn't realize we had been puzzling and yapping so much. Allie and AJ. Oh, I love Allie and AJ. And now I know what you're talking about. I love Allie and AJ. Anyways, I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. I'm so sorry it was a short catch up, but also the link will stay in the video for like the next 12 hours. So feel free to finish the puzzle while I'm away. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. I'm so sorry I'm cutting off. I'm so sorry. Bye.